Yes, now for more on the story via telephone, we're pleased to welcome in Reverend William Owens, the president and founder of the Coalition of African American Pastors, and alongside to participate in the conversation, our good friend Ellis Henican at Newsmax New York. So, Reverend Owens, we thank you for calling in. We just heard from Justice Ginsburg. She seems to leave no doubt on her stance, so she needs to recuse herself, huh?
Absolutely. She needs to recuse herself.
And what about Justice Kagan? What has Justice Kagan done in the public square that would prompt the same type of recusal in your mind?
She performed a same-sex marriage ceremony, and that within itself tells us that she cannot hear this case impartially. And it is the law, and it's in the canons for the justices to not express their opinion and make their opinion known before they've heard a case. They've both made their decisions known before hearing the case, and they know better. They know what the law says, and they are choosing to disobey the law, and they should recuse themselves and not hear this case.
Now, Reverend, we do have some idea about how some of these justices feel. For instance, Clarence Thomas and Justice Scalia have both made comments and decisions and elsewhere that make it pretty clear that they would like to continue to allow states to prohibit gay marriage. Should they recuse themselves as well, or only the justices that you disagree with?
Well, neither one of them perform same-sex ceremonies. Neither one of them.
Well, of course not. They're against it.
Well, they're against it, and I agree with that. And if I do more research and find out that they've made statements like Ginsburg, I would do the same to them. It's not a one-sided situation. Anybody who let that decision be known when it's before the court should be recused.
And there's a difference, Ellis, between having a general philosophical bent or ideological background and violating the judicial canon. And that's what Reverend Williams is saying, are you not, sir? By Justice Kagan stepping in to perform a ceremony, by Justice Ginsburg discussing the case, albeit in a broad sense, in your opinion, they have violated the judicial canon that is certainly part of American jurisprudence and should be part of the conduct for justices on the Supreme Court.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
See, Ellis, the difference is this. When I was serving in Congress, real life story, Chief Justice Rehnquist at the time, rest his soul, a fellow Arizonan, we were exchanging pleasantries in front of the court one day, and I said, Mr. Chief Justice, we would love you to come over and just visit informally with the Conservative Opportunity Society. And he said, Congressman, I'd love to, let me think about it. And it wasn't based on ideology. It was based on the fact, might the conversation wander into those areas where the court would have to make a decision? That was the reason for his reservation. On the other side, you had Justice Scalia who said, look, I'm happy to come down, but here is my caveat. I will not discuss cases that may be before the court this session. So two different answers, but still in observance and respect of the judicial canon. And that's what we're talking about here. And Ellis, we might ask you, do you not believe Justice Kagan in fact jeopardized her standing when she performed the same-sex marriage ceremony?
I think she did. Absolutely. I think she did.
So, Reverend, let me broaden our question just a little bit, and thank you so much for those that civics report, JD. Reverend, you are African American minister. You work with a group of people who have fought valiantly and long for the cause of civil rights. Do you not feel in your heart some sense of kinship or brotherhood with gay Americans who are now seeking their own civil rights? Don't you pull for them a little bit?
No, because the civil rights movement that I was in is totally different from this, what they call the civil rights movement. What they have done is hijacked the civil rights movement and used everything that we used. We were denied the right to even be a good citizen. We were denied. I'm pre-civil rights, so I was in the civil rights movement. I know how it was then. The gay rights agenda has nothing to do with the civil rights movement. There is no comparison.
Let me ask you about the political aspect of this and the cultural aspect within the African American community. As I understand it, Reverend Williams, Reverend Owens, you have written about the yearning for traditional values, scripturally based values, and you say the entire specter of gay marriage is unpopular within the black community and also dangerous to that community. We've got about 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Do you want to comment on that? Do I have the essence of what you have written, what you've stated in the past?
Well, not only that, there's another side to this coin. The people, the people across the country, when it was put to a vote, they voted, every state voted against same-sex marriage. And judges, this is supposed to be a country of we the people. We the people decide. And then judges overrule what we the people decide. It has been voted on across the country. And every time we won. And I wish that I could throw in that we want people to know, we want to know how they feel by getting on our list and looking us up and supporting us. And they should go to CAAP, CAAPusa.org, CAAPusa.org, to tell us what they feel. We want to know what they feel, whether they're for us or whether they're against us, and if they're for us, sign our petition.
And we have a look at your website up, and Reverend William Owens, we really do appreciate your time. Ellis Henican, hang in there, because the argument on the right side will be picked up by James Herson. I mean, the right side in a couple of ways there. America's Forum is poised to continue following Miranda Khan with this Newsmax Now update.